What is going on, car bangers? Today's a mysterious Wednesday in LA. I'm Alejandro, and let's talk about cars. Yo, hit it, Pedro! In today's episode of Let's Talk About Cars, my dear cup to the bangers, I want to talk to you guys about the Vision Concept GT by Bugatti, and also about the brand new Spyker C8 Preleator, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But before we get to the meat and bones of the story, unlike the Golden Jew who only got the bones, this hat is going to be available thanks to CarsUnitePeople.com for whatever random comment that we see down below. All you need to do is make sure to be subscribed to the channel, make sure to like this one video, make sure to comment on it, and you're eligible to win the hat. The last winner was... Oh, it's so beautiful. And now, enough of the hats. Let's get back to the show. The first one I want to talk about is the Spyker C8, the Preleator. And the reason why I want to talk about it first is because that's the first one that I really saw. My friend Atik was there. He owns a 918. He's part of the 918 owners group. Yeah. What's up, dude? And we saw each other there, and we were looking at some cars, and he told me, hey, Ali, I'm ordering a Spyker. What do you think of him? I said, actually, very interesting. I've always liked the Spykers, but I didn't know much about them. So I went in there and I had a chance to meet the CEO of Spyker. I talked to the guys there. They showed me the car. And it's awesome. Let me just tell you a little bit of the specs. Obviously, it's its own design. Spyker is the manufacturer. The C8 Preleator is the model. Spyker, obviously, as you guys know or might not know, they've had some financial difficulties in the past. So they declared bankruptcy, I think early in the year, in January, and then they took the Spyker to Geneva, and now they're here, and they're planning on building 50 cars. These cars are going to be powered by a V8 engine, courtesy of Audi, a 4.2-liter engine that produces 520 horsepower, give or take 518, I think it is a figure. And the car is going to be available in a manual and an automatic transmission. That is pretty dope. Manuals are disappearing, so anytime someone does naturally aspirated engine with a manual, I'm always curious to know what's going on. So the first thing you notice is the build quality of the thing. My God, there's leather goodness everywhere you look at the car. The switches, buttons, everything is inspired by a fighter jet from back in the day. And you can tell, you get into the car and it feels special. The car that we were looking at specifically didn't have a radio or entertainment system, but Spyker itself actually told us that they're able to put a nice screen on the right side of the dash so that you can do as you please if you desire to have a radio, but most people just want to hear the symphony that the engine makes. I have yet to test out the car, I have yet to drive it, but the CEO of Spyker was very specific about one thing. He's not in it to make a super hyper car that no one else can duplicate. He's not in it to give you the fastest car ever. He's giving you an experience, a GT experience that's supposed to be enjoyed to the maximum. I think it's got the right engine. It's got a V8 4.2-liter by Audi. I know how good those sound. It's got a manual gearbox possibility, or option if you will. So that's always really sexy to me. The interior finishes, the leather, everything's hand-built to your imagination. So yeah, I would love to have that. And all the good, leathery, rich aluminum materials that you see inside and out, the switches, the buttons, the everything. It seems like a very cool GT. I really want to drive it before I can make my mind as to would that be worth it, because the price tag goes around between $350,000 and $420,000 properly spec'd. So it's not that cheap. It's also not in the higher end range. I guess it depends on customer service, and also it depends on how really the car feels and drives when you're behind the wheel of that. So until that happens, I have nothing further to say about that car. Now let's jump into the Vision Concept GT by Bugatti. That thing is mega bunkers. I've seen it before. We all saw the Vision GT concept because he was inspired by the video game. And Bugatti first made it just as an exercise to say, let's see what we can build. As far as the Bugatti imagination, go back and win Le Mans. That's what they're going to do. They're going to apply the video game rules, which are pretty close to real, actually, because when you account for all the gravity that goes into it, downforce, G-forces pulled by every car, sticky tires, how much can they, like the games are getting more and more realistic. So Bugatti put that together, put it on the game. They gave it 2,600 horsepower on the game. They released that car before they released the Chiron. I mean, for the people to see. People saw it, fell in love with it without realizing that was a Chiron underneath that. And then I said to myself, wow, that's a pretty cool car. They're never going to do it. Looks great. The Chiron is a beautiful looking beast. I'm down. And then And then we walked around through car show. We looked at the car. Once you get really close, you start to notice all the proper aero, all the proper things that they did. You know that floating chassis that the Nebula has, where you can see the air scoops from underneath the tires, and the chassis goes whoop. It makes like a V from the front. The Concept GT has that, and it's pretty damn epic, along with the big wheels, obviously all the aero from outside, the little antennas like for racing, everything. The little antennas, by the way, on top that look like they're just there by accident, that's what they use in Formula One. This is an epic car. Now, they're not sure what horsepower the car is going to have, and also no one's sure that they're going to build the car. Let me tell you this, just by being around the Bugatti tent, listening to their customers, and being in one of the most epic things I've ever seen in my life, which is, as I'm looking at the GT, the whole crew, the Vision GT, everyone on the crew was behind me, and some guy literally just came up to the head of sales of Bugatti with his credit card and said, I don't care how much it is, I don't know where, I don't know when you're gonna do it, but here's my card, I need that car. That was the most ballerific thing I've ever seen. Forget about that. Then I went inside. I'm looking at the Vision Concept, and I see the same guy taking pictures of it. And I go, wow, what a beautiful car. Don't you wish they make it? And he's like, I don't wish they make it. I hope they make it, because I just gave that guy my credit card, and I need one. So, holy shit. The rumor is that Bugatti's going to make 20 of those. They're going to race Le Mans, and they're going to win everything. I mean, just by looking at the car, you would understand that might actually work, because the aero on the car is insane. That car that you were looking at has an actual W16 engine, like the regular ones that you can find in the Super Sport. Like the regular engines you can find in the Super Sport. Obviously, that one chassis that you see was purchased by someone in Saudi, hence the license plate. But it looks insane. The P1 GTR like exhaust, everything about that car. The price when it hits the market, if it hits the market, which everyone's saying about 5 years from now, it will, it's going to be anywhere between $5 and $7 million. So, to all you rich people that are thinking about buying one, why don't you just buy one and also put like a 10% deposit on the side for me? And if 10 of you buying one and putting a 10% deposit on it, I'm pretty sure if my math adds up, you'll be able to buy a second one and then gift it to me. And that way we can all have one of those cars. I think that's the right way of purchasing that car. But what do you guys think? I was blown away by it in Monterey. I think that Vision Concept car and the whole Bugatti thing blew my mind. The Carter was speccing his car in front of me, and I got so jealous. I think it's one of the most beautiful cars out there, one of the most usable ones. And honestly, what's going to win or beat you on the street when you're driving one of those mental Chirons? Nothing. And I think the Vision GT is only going to take that concept and make it higher for Bugatti and put them in a better place. So, Cup Bangers, let me ask you the question of the day. Which one of these two is your favorite and why? Thank you so very much for watching. As always, I'm Alejandro, and I do not approve this message. Take it easy. Whoop.